Alrighty, it's time for me to do a beginner series video since Johnson putting them out every 2 days and I don't want to appear lazy. So what I'm going to talk to you about is the difference between linear arm wrestling and the real way you should do it, which is to think of it more like a martial art, like for example jiu-jitsu, which I studied for many years. A lot of times, especially with beginners, you get stuck on a linear motion. Like for a top roll, everybody imagines moving from this point down to this point to pin, which is fine, but it's one line. And so if Amy is as strong as me or stronger than me and I give her a very obvious direction like that, it's going to be much easier for her to stop me and hold me and pin me. So when you're thinking about whatever the technique is, whether it's hook or pressing or whatever you do, what I want you to imagine is that it's more of an arc than it is a straight line. So for example, for a top roll, instead of doing this, which many of us still do, if I do an arc, even a gentle arc, what happens is that instead of putting one line of pressure on her towards my pin point, I'm doing a circle. And what that does is it changes the pressure points in all of her hands. So I'm attacking the lower fingers first and then the fingers in succession after that. So that's harder to stop. And if you're dealing with someone who is of an equal strength or even a little bit stronger than you, that's going to be a much more difficult thing to prevent, because the linear motion, you're giving them one direction, it's easier for them to stop. It's very difficult to react to a circle, and that's why jiu-jitsu is all about circles. They don't attack in linear fashions, and that's why you can do the various types of locks. Like if you watch anybody do a judo or MMA and watch them do the arm locks, they don't put them on linear, there's always a circle. Because her muscles are strong, and if I just pull straight back on it, it's hard, but if I do this kind of stuff, it comes right down. Mike Shalhoub is great at that in hook. And another person, you can watch the match with Chris Gabi and I, because I was doing a really linear hook and pushing, and I felt strong, and he kept doing these little micro adjustments and circling me over and over and over and beat me. And so that's one of the things I'm working on in that position. In a top roll, it's something I always do, and you can practice it slow by having your partner release the pressure a little bit. And basically, instead of doing that straight line like this, I want you to just do a little arc, a little bit of an arc. And you can imagine doing the same kind of thing in any move that you do. Even the press, which is definitely considered more of a straight move, you can circle in like this. And again, it changes the difficulty for your opponent of adjusting to your power if you're constantly moving where it is. Even in like a flop kind of press, when you think about it, it's a pretty straight move. But most of us press with this muscle right here called the thenar when we're doing that kind of press. If I suddenly switch the pressure to the opposite, to the blade of my hand, that's a pressure she has to adjust to, and it can give you an extra quarter inch, half inch, and might get you a pin. So again, work on the circles, little arcs, attack the weak point of their hand, and it doesn't matter what technique you're doing, just try to get away from doing something completely linear, because it's really easy for your opponent to stop. All right, thank you.